And we made it. Here we are at my dad's forever home in Tennessee. We have moved all the stuff that we are going to have here. Our pods are being held somewhere else, and we are going to be living here with my dad until we find our forever home. But until then, we had to bring all of our stuff that we needed for the immediate future here, including my garden and all my pots. So I wanted to show you guys what I did with all that. The last time you guys saw these, some of these you saw back at my house in Illinois, and then some of you guys saw that I had transported these tomatoes in the back of my van. That was the last video I think you guys saw. So let me show you how everything is doing. Okay, so I'll just start here on the end, and as you can see, it's just pretty much one long strip of garden, and that I have candle panels up across the front yard. And this first one here, I have my jalapeno pepper plant with opal basil and Thai basil growing in it. Then next to that is basically like a succession sown tomato, so I'm kind of excited about that. It actually has 3 tomato plants in it that got stunted out, so they are much further behind all the other tomatoes. And then it also has a jalapeno plant in it, a jalapeno start. I don't know if it's going to actually produce anything, but that's the black one. And then starting with the orange one and moving down, these are all my tomatoes, and you'll see that they look pretty rough. The move was kind of difficult on them. They looked great coming out of the move, but in this direct sunlight and heat, they have struggled a bit. But when I came, there was lots of ripe fruits that I needed to pick. We've had tons of rain here, so I've been picking a lot of my tomatoes early because we've had lots of pest pressure. And I've gotten a couple of snacks of some tomatoes, but I think I'm gonna have to make some salsa because I have lots of jalapenos and lots of odds and ends of tomatoes. I haven't gotten any of those Wirakawa. That's these ones in the middle with the green buckets. Those plants are looking the healthiest, but I haven't gotten any fruit from them yet. Gotten lots of Romas. Unfortunately, I did lose a couple tomatoes to some pests, and then a couple just went bad in the couple of weeks that we were not here. They got overly ripe. But then we also have a poblano plant in this orange, or maybe that's brown. This brown plant here, that's a poblano plant. Looking at it from this angle, you'll see that I have this little black pot right here. I have to up-pot that. That's my lemon tree. I gotta find a pot for that. Behind it there on that cattle panel, I think that's some kind of morning glory or something. I'm not a flower person, so I don't really know. But it's very invasive. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to have. Maybe you guys can let me know. But it is definitely taking up space on my trellis that I don't love, and getting tangled in my Roma plant over there. And then I have my chives here on the end. Then in my first green stalk here, let's see if I can back out, there we go. I have my 2 green stalks on either side of our porch here. In this first green stalk, there's not much. There's a couple of lettuce plants in there, a kale plant, some sage, some parsley, a couple things of chamomile, and a big thyme on the back. Then just yesterday morning, these 2 bottom, this is the leaf planter, and in these 2 bottom rows, I filled with worm castings, and I planted some green beans. And I'm going to harvest some more worm castings and top off these other layers. And in the spaces, I'm going to succession plant more beans. And this is all going to be beans, and I might leave the top tier up here for only lettuce. You can see my ground cherry plant right here. It does good, and then it does bad, and then it bounces back, and it's a very kind of fickle plant. The whole time it's been growing, it has good days and then it has bad days, and then it bounces back. I don't really get it, but whatever. This first planter here has my comfrey and some chamomile in it. In the back of it, it had a little sprig of lavender in the back of that, but I don't think it's going to survive. Then on this side, this front pot here, that's a lot of basil, and it's got in the middle of it a blueberry plant. Then behind it is another planter that has gotten totally scorched from the sun. Not much is surviving in there, but that's some celery and some chamomile, and then that dried up burnt thing in the middle was a blueberry plant that obviously got very scorched from the sun, and I don't think will survive. And then this green stalk here is the top. The top we have a kale plant and my strawberries, which struggled in the heat, but they seem to be coming back. And then my sweet potatoes. I just turned this, so these ones were in the back being protected, and now they're getting some sun. The other side looks a lot better. And I hope that they're growing some nice sweet potatoes in there. On the back side of this retaining wall, so this is the cattle panel, and on the other side of this is where we just were with all the tomatoes along this. But these terracotta pots right here, those are my blackberry, my black raspberry is in the back here, and then these front ones are a blackberry and a raspberry, regular raspberry. In this little black guy here is a fried apple tree of some sort that just did not survive transport and got fried. And then this blue one here is an assortment of basils, which I have gotten lots and lots of basil that I'm really happy about. And then the back side of all the tomatoes here is all garden that the previous owner had some pretty little rose bush here, and then some other bushes along the back. And then this is our backyard, and along this fence here, these are our potatoes that, as you can tell, are very ready to harvest. And then along the back side of the fence here, that orange pot is my pickling cucumber that has seen better days. This black one here is a sweet potato. Then I have the 2 carrots in the orange and purple that are ready to harvest. And then all across the back are my celery plants, which some have done better than others. Some have gotten scorched. I think I'm going to harvest some and give them a chance to grow back. You can see that, like, this green one here is really good. And that green one right there is really good.
Stop picking the tree.
But then the rest of them are pretty like anemic looking. So like I said, I think I'm gonna trim some and let them kind of grow back up. Everything is taken some time to get used to this new environment. And then I just placed my lemon balm right here and my mint here. Oop, here. The mint had a rough time traveling, but it's starting to grow back and fill back out. And I just placed them down here at the bottom of our stairs.
Jump down to there.
But as you can see, everybody's adjusting here. We got the chickens over here. We're still setting up the swing set here. And I'll show you guys this coop in another video, what we did.
Okay. Whee! Go!
Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.